Hello everyone, my name is Khushi Jain and today I am going to explain you a topic of software engineering and the topic is use case diagram. So, what is a use case diagram? A use case diagram is a dynamic or behavior diagram in UML. What do we understand by UML? UML is the Unified Modeling Language. And according to UML, a use case diagram can summarize the details of your system's users, that are the actors of the system, and their interactions with the system. To build one, you'll use a set of specialized symbols and connectors. That is, when you are trying to make a use case diagram, you'll use a set of specialized symbols and connectors for that. An effective use case diagram can help your team discuss and represent. First, the scenarios in which your system or application interacts with people, organizations, or external systems. Second, the goals that your system or application helps those entities, or known as actors, achieve. And the third is the scope of your system. Now, the next question that comes into our mind is why to use a use case diagram. So the UML use case diagrams can be used for, or they're ideal for, first, representing the goals of system user interactions. That is, whenever we create a software or a system, what is the goal of that system user interaction? That can be easily represented using a use case diagram. The second point, defining and organizing functional requirements in a system. As we all know that we need to define functional and non-functional requirements of a system before developing it. So a use case diagram is very effective or very helpful for defining and organizing those functional requirements of a system. The third is specifying the context and requirements of a system. And lastly, modeling the basic flow of events in a use case, that how each event or how each activity is associated to use cases and how the flow of events occur in our system. For example, here we have a use case diagram. I'll explain you later on how to create these use case diagrams and how to understand them. Now some basic use case diagram symbols and notations. So whenever we need to make a use case diagram or we need to draw a use case diagram, we need some specific symbols and notations for the same. The symbols which are used are over here in the slide. The first is system. A system is represented by a rectangle. The second is a use case, which is represented by an ellipse. The third is the actor, which are the stickman figures. And the fourth and the last is communication link, which is represented using an arrow. Now we'll understand in detail about each of these symbols. The first is system. Draw your system's boundary using a rectangle that contains use cases. Thus, all the use cases will be drawn inside the system. The system boundary is potentially the entire system as defined in the requirements document. For large and complex system, each module may be the system boundary. So when we have complex system, we draw a separate system boundary for each module. The next is use cases. The use cases are drawn using ovals, or we can say ellipses. We label these ovals with the verbs that represent the system's functions. So whatever functionality our system is having, it is written inside the use case in the form of verbs. For example, in the previous diagram you saw over here, in this diagram, you saw some use cases like login, view products, checkout. These are all verbs that are used to represent the use case. Each actor must be linked to a use case, while some use cases may not be linked to actors. That is, every actor is linked to a use case, but every use case does not need the actor to be linked. So, next is actor. The next symbol that is used in a use case diagram is actor, which are stick figures that represent the people actually employing the use cases, are users. So actor triggers the use case and actor has a responsibility towards the system, that is, they give some input to the system, and actor has some expectations from the system, That is, they expect some output from the system. So these are the two roles of an actor. First, triggering use case, and second, giving some input and getting some output from the system. The last symbol or the last notation used in the use case diagram is communication link. It is a line between actors and use cases. For relationships among use cases, we use arrows that can be either labeled as includes or extends. Now, an includes relationship indicates that a use case is using the functionality of another use case. So, I'll explain you later on with an example as well. And an extends relationship indicates alternative options under a certain use case. So this is a use case diagram at a glance. It is a simple template of a use case diagram, or a very simplified use case diagram, so that you can understand each and every component of it. So here we have a system which is represented using a rectangle, and these are the system boundaries. Okay, these stickman figures are our actors. They are labeled as cellular phone, customer, external phone company, and the lines over here, they represent the relationships between these use cases and the actors, and obviously the ellipses are the use cases. And all these use cases are in the verb form, like manage bill, handle call, and handle message. Now, understanding some important tips for drawing use case diagrams, which could be very helpful for you, which should be kept in mind while drawing a use case diagram. First, a simple and complete use case diagram should be articulated. It shouldn't be incomplete. Okay. Second, a use case diagram should represent the most significant interaction among the multiple interactions. Third, at least one module of a system should be represented by the use case diagram. And fourth, if the use case diagram is large and more complex, then it should be drawn more generalized. So make it as simplified as you can, so that it is easier to read the use case diagram in case you have a more complex system. Now we'll take an example and understand how to draw a use case diagram. So this is a use case diagram depicting the online shopping website. So here we have a system. Actually, it is a subsystem of an online shopping website, but we can say it is a module of a system. So this is our system, and the ellipses represent the use cases. We have 4 use cases over here: view items, make purchase, checkout, and client register. Here the web customer actor makes use of any online shopping website to purchase online. So that web customer is the one who purchases. Now web customer can be of two types: a register customer and a new customer. So new customer first needs to register, and then he will also become a registered customer. Next, the top level users are as follows: view items, make purchase, checkout, client register. These are all the use cases we have. The view item use case is utilized by the customer who searches and view products. Next, the client register use case allows the customer to register itself with the website for availing gift vouchers, coupons, or getting a private sale invitation. So this is the use of client register use case. And it is to be noted that checkout is an included use case, which is a part of making purchase, and it is not available by itself. Now I'll explain you the significance of this includes keyword over here. So over here we know that checkout is an included use case. Means this checkout is an included use case of make purchase. That is, without make purchase, it does not have its own significance, because make purchase includes checkout. Unless and until you make a purchase, you cannot check out with your items. So that means that it is an included use case. Now the view items is further extended by several use cases, which we will see in the later slide. They are search items, browse items, view recommended items, add to shopping cart, add to wish list, and all of these extended use cases provide some functions to customers which allows them to search for an item. So let's see in this slide. These are the use cases extended by the view items. Now what does this extend keyword means? means they give the added functionality to this use case. They are not included in this, or they are not necessarily included, but they're extended by this use case, or this which means that it provides additional functionality to the view items. Both view recommended item and add to wish list include the customer authentication use case, as they necessitate authenticated customer, and simultaneously item can be added to the shopping cart without any user authentication. So what do we understand by this is the view recommended item and add to wish list use case include the customer authentication. As you can see here, this view recommended item and add to wish list requires customer authentication, that is included. So it is included inside both of these use cases, and it does not have its own existence until we have these two use cases. So it is an important step in for those two use cases. I hope you understand the previous example. Now we have another example, which is a website use case diagram. Here we have two actors in this system. The system which is represented by this rectangle boundary. So the two actors are site user and webmaster. The site user is the user or the one who uses or visits the website, and the webmaster is the one who develops and maintains the website. These are the use cases that we have over here. The site user have functionality for searching docs, browsing docs, viewing events, and login. So, and upload docs. So these are the 5 use cases associated with the site user. The search docs includes download docs. It also includes preview doc, and also browse doc includes the preview doc use case. That means these are the included use cases. These two are the included use cases for these two. Now the webmaster has the following associated use cases. First is upload docs, that is, you can upload the documents on the website. Second is post new event to homepage, and the third is adding users. Now I hope that you understand this second example as well. So this was all about use case diagram. I hope it's clear to you how to draw a use case diagram and what are the important functionalities of a use case diagram, what are the symbols and notations that are required to draw a use case diagram, and how to understand or read a use case diagram. Thank you.